Hey everyone, this is Spot, and welcome to another episode of The Spotlight. We're going to do it a little bit different format this time. I'm going to try to do it a little bit more freeform without writing a massive script, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, the game we're looking at today is called Perpetuum. I believe that's how it's pronounced. It's by Avatar Creations. It was actually released in late 2010, but still going, well, strong. I don't actually know what their user count is, but it was just released on Steam. I'm going to start out by saying, if you've played EVE Online or you know much about EVE Online, you're going to find yourself through this entire video going, wait a minute, that looks familiar, and you are not going crazy. Whoever designed this game really likes EVE Online. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I think EVE Online's a great game. And one of the good things about Perpetuum is that if you're going to model yourself after something like EVE, it's good to take along the great parts about EVE. And Perpetuum definitely has the depth and intricacies that I appreciate about EVE personally. As you can see, it's in a sci-fi setting. It is a persistent game world. It's an MMO. There's only one server, which is great. It seems like they've designed it to only be one server. Again, kind of like EVE. I'm going to be referencing EVE a little bit through this entire video just because it's so close. It's actually kind of shocking at times. There's large-scale PvP, including territory control, which I love stuff like that. Actually, there's many things I love about this game. Pretty much all the things I really love about EVE are great in this game. Alright, character progression is time-based. It's not action-based, meaning there is zero grind, period. There's no grind whatsoever. In something like EVE, they use an absolute time, so a specific skill takes a certain amount of time to train. That's it. They do it a little bit different in Perpetuum. They give you EP, which I believe are extension points, and they are awarded to you based on real-world time. I believe they give you 1 per minute. So whether you're online or not, you get these extension points, and then you use those to buy abilities and skills and extensions and things like that. Another interesting thing about that I'll throw in there is that you can have multiple characters, obviously, on the same account, but your extension point pool is shared among those accounts. So if you have another character, you have to upgrade its abilities and skills from the same pool. Industry is a huge part, just like in EVE. It's complex. They use the term multi-tiered, and so that you can build industrial operations that are large and small, etc. That's good because the economy is, again, like EVE, completely player-driven. Everything in the game world, other than your most basic things, are built by players. So it's a full economy. It's affected by supply and demand. Prices will go up, they'll go down. There's a market, etc. And so that's great. And so if you have a good economy like that and a good industry, those things work together really well. Only thing that you need other than that, once you have those things, is a reason to have them. And the reason exists. There is full player-built infrastructure. You can build bases and towns with networked buildings and defenses, etc., which play very well into PvP and that territory control I mentioned before. What goes along with this, which you don't see in, I think, almost any other MMO, with the exception of those that are actually focused on this specifically, is the ability for players to change the actual geography, that they can actually terraform the land, and it's permanent, which is really interesting. As a player, you can build huge industrial operations, you can make money, buy things, build structures, whole installations, have wars, etc., and even change the landscape of the land, which makes perfect sense. You would be able to do that. Professions are all over the board, right? Everything from obviously manufacturing and trading to artifact hunting and mining and logistics and fabrication of all kinds, etc. It's very in-depth, and if you like stuff like that, you'll probably like this. The core of the actual, I'll say, the vehicle for the player, which is kind of funny because they're robots. There's lots of different styles of robots, and they have the different varieties. And actually, the entire robot system, again, if you're familiar with EVE and their fitting system and their rigging system for ships, it's a lot like that for robots, a lot. You actually have CPU consumption and energy consumption, and you can install modules, and they consume those resources, and so you have to be careful on which ones you're doing and what tier they are. Yes, they're multi-tiers. It's actually called tiers. Pretty much what it comes down to is that if you have played EVE Online, or you know about EVE Online enough, you already know about Perpetuum. It's very, very, very similar. Somebody said, I want to take Eve and put it on the ground with robots, which again, as I said in the beginning of the video, not actually a bad thing. That's really cool. It was subscription in April of this year, 2014. For those of you who are watching from the future, they dropped their subscription, and so it is now pay to play. You have to pretty much buy the box, and then there's no subscription. Supposedly upgrades are completely, expansions and things are completely included. It's currently available on Steam. It just launched on Steam for around $30 US. One downside is it seems that it is only available on Windows. It's definitely a game to check out again if you like intricate, really deep mechanics in games. It's definitely worth checking out. I don't know if they actually have a trial. I haven't actually seen one on Steam. I don't know if they're planning a trial, but it would definitely be worth checking out either way. So that's about it for this episode of The Spotlight. Thank you for tuning in. Again, as I've said before, if you have any games that you feel deserve more attention overall, please do let me know. Until next time, stay safe and have a great time. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, this is Spot. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. If you'd like to see more, do subscribe. Leave me a comment, ask a question, give a suggestion. I read all of them and try to respond. I'll see you next time.